Bang, bang. Welcome to another week of the PGA show with the DFS dads. It's just going to be Dustin and I tonight as Chris is taking the night off. So we're going to dive right into Bay Hill. It's a very iconic course. Lots of great players have won here, including Tiger sinking that amazing putt on the last hole. 7,400 yards. We're in Florida still, so Bermuda grass. It's lightning fast greens. So super fast for putting. It's going to be a great week. We got another good field. A lot of the top players decided to stick around and play this. So this is the tune-up for the Players' Championship next week. So we'll dive right on in. It's going to be very quick tonight. A little, mistake by me where I didn't click the right view. So if we had posted it, you would have seen my fat ass eating a whole bunch of Fig Newtons.
And Chris pulled a Cantley on us and had to withdraw because of the poops.
Yeah. So probably some like vegan ice cream or something. But Dustin, without further ado, you want to hop back into the two guys you love that I'm fading?
I will. So the two guys I like, I know Victor Hoblin is extremely highly priced compared to what he normally is, but he's been playing so well beyond his little +4 there on 18. But outside of that, I mean, the dude's been phenomenal. I don't think you can go wrong playing him. Kind of hot hand approach. And then Patrick Reed. I'm not on the Rory train. The dude's burned me so many damn times. He rates so good in metrics all the time, and then just is good but not great. So I'm gonna look at Hovland and Patrick Reed. What about you?
And I'm gonna be the complete opposite because I like the other three.
Well,
Hatton's gonna be my MME play. Love him like always. And then it'd probably be Bryson 1, Rory 2. Rory has amazing history. I think like 4 top 7s in a row.
Yeah.
Bryson has, I think, 2 top 5s in the last 3 years.
Yep.
And now with his added length, I know he's talked about trying to drive the 18th hole in one, which is a par 5, just cut across the lake. We have to carry like 325, 330. I think he's a great play here. Phenomenal off the tee. As long as he doesn't just blow up around the green, he's going to be fine. But it'd be Bryson 1, Rory 2, and then Hatton for MME. And I'm going to hop off the Hovland train. He's on record saying he doesn't like Florida, so I'm just going to pass on that and drop down into the nice little 9K range where we have, I think, our favorite play is probably Paul Casey. That might be for the entire tournament. He rates out fantastic in both our models and has been playing phenomenal the last, 2 months, including getting a win over in Euro.
Yep. And he didn't have a lot of tournament history here the past couple of years, but he had a tied for 9th in 2016. So obviously played well that year. Comes in playing really good golf. Actually is very good. I mean, we know him as not a good putter, but he's very good at avoiding 3 putts. So I know it kind of is contrary when you think about something like that, but like Paul Casey, like you said, he's one of the few that rates out great in both of our models. So either could be a great thing or a terrible thing, depending on how he plays this week. 9,000 is a little tough. I mean, you look at Fitz, 9,800. Obviously a very great golfer. I kind of compare him to a younger Webb Simpson. Not super long off the tee, but very accurate irons, good putter. He's just a little too pricey for me this week. So probably won't go there, but he has good course history, finished 2nd here in 2019. So I don't think it's a bad play, especially with how well-rounded of a golfer he is. But for me, I'm going Paul Casey at 9,100, and I probably won't go anybody else in this range.
I think the other two I look at is Sung Jae, back-to-back top 3s here. He rates out fairly well for me. He's the best in the field at proximity from 175 to 200. I just feel like that's too good to pass up. He got his little break in, came out and played last week and still played decent. He had an awful round on Saturday, but other than that, he played very well. And I think I will use Fitz. I mean, he has good finishes here. He has, 2 top 10s in a row, or I finished 11th last week. He's been playing great, and he's played well here. You look at the leaderboard the last 3 years, his name's up there every single time.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be as high owned because of his price. So I think, you can get some leverage there in some single entries or, some other type of contests where, maybe a 4-man or something where, if he does well, then you got a good chance of winning.
Now it's the super tricky range. I think
Yeah, because
everybody besides like 3 guys, really.
Yeah, if I'm fading 3, I mean, me and you both know Harris English has been a bomb. 2 missed cuts, and then what would be a miscut if there was a cut at the WGC. So I'm off that train, even though he finished 9th here last year. He's just his form coming in is so bad. Like, no, not chancing it. I like Kevin Na a little bit. You don't, which is kind of weird because you normally like Kevin Na, and I don't. So I don't know how to take that. If you look at his last 4 years, cut 36, cut 36. So, maybe
so it's due for a cut.
For the pattern wise, maybe I'll have to fade him.
But you know who we both like?
Who?
Homa.
Oh yeah, love Homa. He won, and so people kind of, especially a young guy that hasn't really won a lot, they tend to not go back to him. He started out a little shaky last week, but battled back on the weekend, played really well the last couple of days. So I love him this week. I think his price point is good. His form is great. Metrics rate out really well in my model. So yeah, I mean, Homa, Molly, whatever.
I know what you're doing tonight when this is over.
But yeah, I mean, I look at this range and I'm like, anybody outside of probably Harris and maybe Kisner, I like in this range.
Yeah, Kisner rates out the worst for me in the range. I'd say Homa 1. I love Leishman and Kokrak. I think they're great plays this week. They both have great course history. They've been playing well, especially Kokrak finding a putter is a world of difference for him. And Leishman, who had been playing god awful, has sneakily made 5 straight cuts.
Good course history here.
Great course history. I think everybody's going to be on Burns, and I'm going to pass on Burns and use Homa right above him, or drop down to Leishman and Kokrak. And then Willie Z will be popular again, but for good reason. Yeah. He's just an elite ball striker. And once he gets putting going, he's going to be amazing, but he's so good with his irons, and this course requires that.
Yep. I mean, I can't disagree with you anywhere on there. Leishman's I think he's one that can sneak in and win you some money because, like you said, he's been playing really well. In the past 4 years, he's won this and got second. So, and he has another top 10. Like, yes, checking all these boxes. So I might just build a whole lineup of 8,000 guys and just go with it.
There's so many good ones. All right, so now we're down to this is the trickiest range because there's so many golfers in here. When you look at Cam Davis and Gooch up at the top, followed by, Rose, Fowler. Then you got Lanto, Tringali, who's good. It's a loaded range. I think I'm going to be crazy and go to Ricky just because he has good history here. He's coming off his best tournament of probably the last 6 months. And he did that while being god-awful at approach, and he's normally not god-awful at approach. So as long as he can correct that and keep everything else going, at 7,800, he could get us a little top 15 action and really pay off.
They don't call him Tricky Ricky for nothing. He's hard to guess on in tournaments.
If by they you mean Dustin Reed, because I've never heard anyone in my life call him Tricky Ricky besides you.
I mean, he literally is one of those golfers, like, you just don't know what he's going to do. And it's like whack-a-mole. He's terrible driver one week. The next week, he's great driving and then terrible putter. So just really hard to get him on that 1 week where he's put it all together. I like Davis. He's cheap. Obviously didn't do too terribly well at the Genesis, but you look at the tournaments leading up, he is a 3rd, 14th at the Pro-Am. Does really well off the tee. His approach games, he's gotten 4.3, 6.6, 5.5. So it tells you how good he is at striking the ball, especially the iron. So I like him. I've been on him a couple times this year already. Just think he's Australian, right?
Yes.
Australian guy. Yeah. So you said something about some Aussies play good at this course.
Yes. This is another one of those where the leaderboard usually has some Australian flags up at the top on Sunday.
Well, there you go. See, it's just another factor to add into me already liking him. So I think you sold me on it.
What do you think about Justin Rose this week at 7,800?
I mean, he's shown flashes at times. It's just hard. I think he's more of a MME play, but he's still a top ranked golfer in the world. I forget what he is, but he's still top 20, I think. Somehow seems like he's been bad for a while. Has a third finish here 3 years ago, 13th before that, 9th, and then he missed the cut last year. So, it's him. I just don't think his game is quite where it needs to be. But he's one of the. I mean, a guy like him can come out and just, play lights out. So I won't say I don't like him because he's done some things well recently. I just don't think he'll be in my build, especially more cash.
So Rose has fallen down to 35th in the world.
He's 35th now?
Or 36, sorry. He's in between Mark Leishman and Christian Bezuidenhout.
Wow.
Who
would you like?
I know. I did not know Bezuidenhout was rated that high in the world.
In order to take him, you have to spell his first and last name correctly without looking on your screen.
Nope. Yeah, C.Bez. He's in.
There you go.
I mean, the dude, he's just been super solid lately.
Yeah, 18th last year.
I know. And I think he's made every cut this year, 6 of 6. Been playing very well. I mean, I think that's a really nice route to take if you want to go in the mid-range. Love him this week.
Should be low owned too.
Yes. And then, you go down to guys you like. I like Grillo. He's a very solid ball striker. Does pretty much everything well besides putt. And of course, I'm one who I think of faster greens kind of evens the playing field. Wrong scorecard, I think. I believe that's how he got DQ'd.
Him and Patrick Reed?
No, Reed cheats. Grillo just forgets what he gets on a hole, like Chris, and says, I got a par. Yeah.
My boy Ian Poulter right below him.
Dude, and we all love Poltz.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a grinded out. I remember talking about him, and I think you were all on him that one tournament because he had to finish whatever to keep his card or something, and he ended up, top 5 in it, and made you a lot of money. So I like him. I'm not on him so much this week. I just don't think his game is right there. But you look at his course history, he's been okay. Just nothing great. What about your boy Brendan Todd?
He rates out god awful for me this week.
He rates out god awful every tournament.
I know.
Somehow does well.
I played him last week in my MME, and he had a strong finish on Saturday and Sunday for me. But
yeah, he did. 500, I think.
Hadwin weights out pretty decent for me as well, for the little Canadian boy who can't hit it very far. But speaking of Canadians, right beneath Hadwin on here is your boy CC, which stands for credit card to deposit on DK when you play him.
Yeah.
Cory Connors.
Yeah. Cory Connors. I mean, he's missed 2 cuts here. Does that scare me? No. Did he miss the cut last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess?
Sure did.
But hear me out here. Prior to that, playing phenomenal golf. The cut he missed by 1 stroke. He didn't play bad. He was 1 under. And so I think the game's there overall. He's been playing really well. Some of these guys, especially, younger guys, they miss 2 cuts in a row, but they're just finding their game. I mean, golf is hard, right? And so it's a hot hand approach, like I said. I think he has a confidence. I think he's, striking the ball well, doing all those things that can put him in a position to succeed. So I like Cory Connors, especially at the price point. If he hadn't missed the cut last week, he would have had, 6 straight weeks of, top 30s basically.
Yeah, he'd probably be priced up there with Tringali and Fowler at 7,800.
So, yeah, I mean, I like him at 7,300. Probably be in, depending on how my build goes, I could for sure see him in there.
I guess you just don't like money when you can just drop down to Chris Kirk at 300 less. Rates out better.
Kirk. I like Kirk too. We talked about this a little bit
on the first one.
on the first podcast we did. But yeah, hey, Kirk.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I apologize.
Yeah. She's mad at you
for good reason.
But yeah, I mean, he's got good course history. 13th, 15th. Didn't play last year, but comes in and has been playing pretty good golf. I mean.
So then we drop down to the 6K range. Well, dude, it's all these people who I love to click when they're like low 7K to finish out my lineups. They're all here.
I know.
I mean, like Ches, Munoz, Glover, Nick Taylor, Doug Gim, Hoagie, Gordon, Sepp Straka, Sned is 6,400.
Zach Johnson, dude, 6,900.
Rory Sabatini is 6,300.
HV3.
Oh my God.
6,800.
This is crazy.
Weisberger, 6,800.
KH Lee, 6,300.
Munoz. I mean, the list goes on.
It's all these people. It's like, geez.
Yep. I mean, and I think this is going to be the tough spot because you have a lot of guys down here that could easily pop off. You know what I mean? Even like a Keith Mitchell, 6,700, 5th last year, 6th the year before. Patrick Rogers, good course history, has, 2 or 3 top 20s over the past 5 years. Dahman, 5th, who's a, boomer bust guy at 6,800. So, I mean, it's tough. Hoagie, I know you like Hoagie.
Sorry, I was counting the like 68 people who are in this range. So it's literally half the field is down here.
And there's some good golfers. That's the thing. Like
we talked about bane of Chris's existence, Kyle Stanley.
Yep.
Who's played very, very well lately, and he's cheap. It's just there's so many good picks down here. I mean, literally, you look at some of our showdown lineups from the last couple of weeks, and you got Hoagie, Stanley, KH Lee. You have all these guys down here who, as long as when their irons are on, these guys are who you can play in showdown. I don't know about playing them in week long, but I do not mind going to like a Munoz at 6,700.
Yeah.
He played very, very well last week. He's coming off. So he had played poorly 2 weeks in a row, got 43rd at the Genesis, 22nd last week in a stacked field. So you got to think that gives him some confidence back. Matt Wallace at 6,900 has played well here. He's a big game hunter. He usually shows up at bigger events.
Cucumber down there.
I know. It's a very good 6K range. So it's going to take some navigating and just you're going to have to step over landmines this week. And that's what we are here for.
You still going to bet first round leader every?
Yes, I'll bet every for first round leader every year at Bay Hill because this is his course.
10 straight miscuts?
Don't give one F. He's going to win me enough money to where I'll send you some every gear and make you wear it every pod.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. They don't make that because he can't make any cuts. All right. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. We appreciate you guys. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the DFS Dads. Go ahead and turn on the notification bell for YouTube, and we will see you guys later.